Hi everyone, welcome to this week's installment of the Northwestern Lacrosse Roundtable. I'm Daily Northwestern Sports Editor Robbie Levin, along with lacrosse beat writer Brian Chappatta. So Brian, another successful weekend for the women's team. How they managed to pull out those 2 wins.
Yeah, definitely. This was a huge weekend. It was probably their toughest test of the season. They had 2 games against 2 ranked opponents, and Penn is always a tough matchup. They won both games kind of the same way. Friday against Penn, they got off to a nice start, 2-0 lead, but then they let them back in the game. The Quakers tied it up 2-2. They eventually put 2 more goals on the board before the half, and then came out firing at the start of the second half. And that was the exact same story against Penn State on Sunday. It was, start off on fire, then let them back in a little bit, and then put them away to start the second half. So that was definitely encouraging, and it was just a lot of Northwestern imposing its will throughout the game.
Yeah, so wins number 39 and 40 for the Wildcats win streak. Still undefeated this year, but going into this week against 2 quality opponents, what does Northwestern still need to improve on?
Well, Katrina Dowd had an excellent weekend this past weekend. She scored 8 goals total, 4 in each game, and Shannon Smith had a good weekend as well, scoring 5. Danielle Spencer actually was held to 2 goals, including 0 against Penn State. That was the first time that's happened to her this entire season. What I think they really need to focus on is get back to their passing game. They really haven't had that girl behind the net who can sort of dictate and make sure that they get the passes, get the assists. They had, I believe, 9 assists total over the weekend, and they scored 25 goals. So a lot of those goals were unassisted. I mean, granted, free position shots are great to score goals on, but when you have a lot of 1v1, that's not necessarily going to cut it all the time. So I think definitely looking at the assists, and also like I was alluding to before, not letting the opponents get back into it. They start off strong, and then they sort of let them get back into it, and then they finally slam the door to start the second half. And even at the end of the second half, they'll build up a lead and then sort of ease up. And I know Kelly Montehiller has been stressing playing 60 minutes of lacrosse, and that includes when they have a lead and there's 10 minutes to go in the game. They know that they probably are going to win the game, but it doesn't hurt to still play hard and still make sure that they, slam the door on their opponents.
Well, so looking forward this weekend, 2 more highly ranked teams roll into Evanston. Friday they got Johns Hopkins, and then on Sunday it's a rematch of the 2009 National Championship game as the Wildcats take on the Tar Heels from North Carolina. What does Northwestern need to do to continue its winning streak this weekend?
Well, I'm looking to the North Carolina game especially as the game to watch. I don't think Johns Hopkins is going to be especially difficult for Northwestern. I could see it easily being something like the Notre Dame game when they pulled off a 15-5 win against a quality opponent. But I mean, at home at Lakeside Field, they are just in their element. I mean, they haven't lost in forever here at Lakeside Field. So I'm not expecting anything. But North Carolina could really pose a challenge. It'll be their highest ranked opponent that they faced. Although I guess Georgetown was ranked number 3 as well, but they were overrated at the time. And the Tar Heels are not overrated. They're for real. They just defeated Maryland, I believe.
Wow.
So they're definitely legit. They knocked off another undefeated opponent. So I know Kelly Montehiller is going to definitely prepare her team, not looking forward, like not looking beyond Johns Hopkins, but North Carolina, they're definitely going to be ready for that game. So again, the assists are going to be important. I also think that just getting Danielle Spencer back on track, they're going to need to be playing their absolute best, and they need to not waste shots. When they get a shot on goal, whether it's Katrina, whether it's Shannon, whether it's Danielle, they have to make those shots count, because quality teams like Penn, like Maryland, like North Carolina, they're going to make them pay.
Great. Well, Brian, thank you very much. And as always, check back on thedailynorthwestern.com/lacrosse for a ton of lacrosse coverage, including Brian's long-form feature about Danielle Spencer for tomorrow. Once again, I've been Robbie Levin for Brian Chappatta. Thank you.